In the year 79 AD, thousands of people woke up expecting an ordinary day. Merchants opened their shops. Children played in the streets. Roman citizens walked through crowded markets beneath the warm Mediterranean sun. And overlooking the wealthy Roman city stood a mountain the people believed was harmless, Mount Vesuvius. But within a single day, that mountain would explode with terrifying force, destroying an entire civilization beneath ash, fire, and darkness. This was the destruction of Pompeii, one of the greatest disasters in human history, and one of the most mysterious ancient cities ever discovered. Welcome to Kingdoms and Secrets, where every kingdom has a secret. Pompeii was a thriving Roman city located near the Bay of Naples in present-day Italy. The city was wealthy, beautiful, and highly advanced for its time. Stone roads stretched across the city. Public baths welcomed citizens daily. Markets sold food, wine, and imported goods from across the Roman Empire. Large villas decorated with colorful paintings belonged to wealthy families, and massive arenas hosted entertainment for thousands of spectators. Life inside Pompeii reflected the power and luxury of ancient Rome. The city's location near Mount Vesuvius also provided fertile farmland, allowing crops and vineyards to flourish. To the people of Pompeii, the mountain appeared peaceful. Few realized they were living beside one of the most dangerous volcanoes in Europe. In fact, many ancient Romans did not fully understand volcanoes at all. Although there had been earthquakes in the region before, most citizens continued their daily lives normally. But beneath the ground, pressure was building, and deep inside Mount Vesuvius, disaster was approaching. Then, sometime during the morning of August 24th, according to traditional historical accounts, the mountain erupted violently. A massive column of ash, smoke, and volcanic rock exploded high into the sky. Witnesses described darkness covering the land like night. Hot ash began falling across the city. Panic spread instantly. People screamed and ran through the streets searching for safety. Families attempted to escape carrying children and belongings. Others hid inside homes hoping the eruption would stop. But the disaster only became worse. As hours passed, volcanic ash continued covering Pompeii. Buildings began collapsing beneath the weight. The air became difficult to breathe, and across the city, fear turned into chaos. Yet the deadliest moment was still coming. As darkness covered Pompeii, thousands of terrified residents struggled to survive. Ash filled the air. Streets disappeared beneath layers of volcanic debris. And across the city, people desperately searched for escape routes. Some attempted to flee toward the sea. Others hid inside homes, temples, and public buildings. Parents held tightly onto their children. Citizens covered their faces trying to breathe through the choking ash. But Mount Vesuvius was far from finished. During the night, the eruption became even more violent. Massive waves of burning gas, ash, and volcanic rock raced down the mountain at terrifying speed. These deadly clouds, known today as pyroclastic flows, moved so quickly that many people had little chance to escape. Entire sections of Pompeii were suddenly buried beneath scorching ash and debris. Buildings collapsed. Roofs shattered. And within hours, the once thriving Roman city disappeared beneath volcanic destruction. Nearby towns, such as Herculaneum, were also devastated. For survivors who managed to escape, the scene was unimaginable. A city that had once been full of life, wealth, and activity had vanished almost overnight. And over time, Pompeii slowly disappeared from memory. Layers of ash preserved much of the city beneath the ground for centuries. Roads remained frozen in time. Homes stayed sealed beneath volcanic rock. Even ordinary objects used by citizens survived underground. For generations, the lost city remained hidden. Then, nearly 1,700 years later, something extraordinary happened. In the 18th century, explorers and workers began uncovering ancient ruins beneath the soil near Naples. As excavations continued, archaeologists realized they had discovered the remains of Pompeii. The world was shocked. Unlike many ancient cities destroyed by war or time, Pompeii had been preserved almost exactly as it was during its final moments. Walls still contained paintings. Shops still held containers and tools. Temples, roads, and theaters remained visible beneath the ash. Even more haunting were the discoveries of human remains. Scientists later created plaster casts from empty spaces left in hardened ash, revealing the final positions of victims during the eruption. Some appeared to be running. Others sheltered loved ones, and some remained trapped inside homes where they had hoped to survive. Pompeii became one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in history, not only because of the disaster itself, but because it offered the modern world a frozen snapshot of everyday life inside ancient Rome. As archaeologists continued exploring Pompeii, the lost city slowly revealed its secrets to the modern world. What they discovered changed humanity's understanding of ancient Rome forever. Pompeii was not merely a collection of ruins. It was a perfectly preserved snapshot of daily life nearly 2,000 years ago. Inside homes, colorful wall paintings still decorated rooms. Ancient kitchens contained cooking tools and storage jars. Public baths revealed how Roman citizens relaxed and socialized. And large theaters showed the importance of entertainment in Roman culture. Even graffiti remained visible on some walls. Messages written by ordinary people centuries earlier survived beneath the ash. For historians, Pompeii became one of the greatest archaeological treasures ever discovered, because unlike many ancient civilizations lost to time, Pompeii had been frozen in place during a single catastrophic event. The city offered scientists a rare opportunity to study how ancient Romans truly lived. Excavations revealed the sharp differences between rich and poor citizens. Large villas with beautiful gardens belonged to wealthy families. Meanwhile, smaller crowded homes housed workers and ordinary residents. Shops lined the streets selling bread, wine, olive oil, and imported goods from across the empire. Roads contained deep grooves left by ancient carts moving through the city daily. Every corner of Pompeii told a story. But beyond the historical discoveries, the city also became a powerful reminder of nature's destructive power. Modern scientists later studied Mount Vesuvius extensively to better understand volcanic eruptions. They discovered that Vesuvius remains one of the most dangerous volcanoes in Europe even today. Millions of people still live near the surrounding region. The disaster of Pompeii also influenced modern emergency planning and volcanic research across the world. Historians believe thousands of people died during the eruption. Yet some survivors managed to escape before the worst destruction arrived. Ancient Roman writer Pliny the Younger provided one of the most important eyewitness descriptions of the eruption in letters, written years later. His writings helped historians reconstruct many events surrounding the disaster. Today, visitors from around the world travel to Pompeii to walk through the ancient streets, buried beneath ash for centuries. They see temples, marketplaces, homes, and public buildings preserved from another age. And many leave with the same haunting thought. An entire civilization vanished within a single day. Yet through tragedy, Pompeii survived in another way, not as a living city, but as a warning frozen in time beneath the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. Today, Pompeii stands as one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. But beyond the ruins, the city continues raising questions that still fascinate historians, scientists, and visitors centuries later. What did the final moments of Pompeii truly look like? How many people survived? And what would happen if Mount Vesuvius erupted again today? Modern technology has allowed researchers to study the city in greater detail than ever before. Archaeologists continue uncovering hidden rooms, ancient artwork, tools, and human remains buried beneath volcanic ash. Each discovery reveals new details about the lives of the people who once walked through Pompeii's streets. Scientists have also learned more about the eruption itself. Evidence now suggests the exact date of the disaster may not have been August 24th, as traditionally believed. Some researchers think the eruption may actually have happened later in the year, possibly during autumn. Clues from preserved food, clothing, and weather conditions continue fueling debate among historians. Even after centuries of research, Pompeii still holds mysteries beneath the ground. Meanwhile, Mount Vesuvius remains active, and the volcano still towers over nearby communities in modern Italy. Millions of people live within the surrounding region today. Because of this, scientists constantly monitor the mountain for signs of future volcanic activity. The destruction of Pompeii serves as a warning about the unpredictable power of nature. Entire cities can disappear, civilizations can collapse, and human achievements can vanish within hours. Yet Pompeii also reveals something deeply human. Through the preserved streets and buildings, modern people can still recognize ordinary life from 2,000 years ago. Families shared meals. Children played in the streets. Citizens worried about business, money, and daily survival. In many ways, the people of Pompeii were not so different from us. That is perhaps what makes the story so haunting. An ordinary day suddenly became one of history's greatest disasters. And beneath layers of volcanic ash, an entire world waited silently for centuries until history uncovered it again. Pompeii reminds humanity that history is not only about kings, wars, and empires. Sometimes, history is about ordinary people, whose lives were frozen forever in a single tragic moment. And even now, beneath the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, the lost city continues telling its story. Subscribe to Kingdoms and Secrets because every kingdom has a secret.